Look at this. Sunday night streaming. I'll be honest with you, Lise. I could absolutely be in bed right now.
I know.
I'm so tired.
I know.
Oh my God, chat. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us for this bonus Sunday stream. Normally the weekend is the time of lions, where we don't get out of bed to an alarm clock. Apart from yesterday we left here at 8:30. Well, I left here at 8:30. My dad to go and watch England lose to Australia at Twickenham. And then this morning we got up at 7:30 because we had to go to Remembrance Parade. We haven't had any lions.
No.
You have a lion tomorrow?
No, we're back on the treadmill of life tomorrow.
What?
Wednesday's a lion.
Wednesday's too far.
There's only 2 more alarm clocks and then it's a lion.
Oh my God. Anyway, welcome back to the channel for this bonus stream on a Sunday. Spoiler alert, chat. We are live, right? Hey, yeah, we are live. Is it live? Someone tell me it's live.
Yeah, it's live.
It's like you can see me. Good, because after fucking Friday. Welcome back to the channel. This is not a 40k stream. Right? This is not a 40k stream. We are very aware of the fact that a significant portion of our audience, both here in the UK and overseas, are either current serving or ex-forces personnel. Right? It's very evident to us that that's the case. Very, very evident to us that that's the case. And what we did historically over the course of the last few years, which I think, if I remember rightly, I think we started this in COVID, because of the COVID times, was we were doing Remembrance streams on the Sunday morning. So if you are from the US, I know you do it slightly different at this time of the year, but Remembrance Sunday is the closest Sunday to the 11th, which is obviously Armistice Day. And Remembrance Sunday for us in the UK is a time where we all get together and we do parades and we go to would you call it a ceremony?
A service.
A service, thank you. You go to services and we remember fallen, or remember our fallen for conflicts throughout time, etc. And if you ever seen it on the TV, they do a big parade in London. This time they said 10,000 veterans took part. Over 300 different groups were represented. And we do it every single year, obviously. Now, in the COVID times when people couldn't go out and about, we started doing it on stream in the mornings. And what we were doing is we would also do last post on stream. We would do the 2-minute silence, and then we would do Reveille. Which is great, but also mad stress for Lisa and I. Because for me, I was particularly keen to make sure that last post finished at 11 a.m. your time as you're watching, so we had to work out our delay, etc.
It was a smidge stressful.
It was a little bit stressful, but I think it was really nice. But I don't know what happened over the course of the last 12 months or so, but I got an urge this year round to not sit here on stream in my office and do the stream at 11 a.m. I had the urge to go and wear beret and medals, veterans badge down at the cenotaph in our local village. It helps, of course, that my niece and nephew were in the parade in the local village as well. So we went down with the kids. Brom, his wife and child were there. It's Brom's birthday today. My parents turned up because my niece and nephew were in the parades. So my brother and his wife were there. It was a real little family occasion, wasn't it?
I counted. We had 15 people.
15 people there. So it's sad that we don't get to do the last post thing on stream, but I actually think I was very proud to stand there, beret, suit jacket, medals.
Let me just do another head count.
I don't think it matters, these. Oh, no, she's counting. She's counting.
Yeah, 15.
So this time round, what we decided to do instead was do the parade this morning, which we did. I came back and then watched the parade in London on Watchback, on demand. And then this evening, we thought we'd go live at 7:30 for an hour or so, simply because then all of the American people can join in with a Remembrance stream. What we talk about is entirely up to you, right? So people can say whatever they want. People can share stories. You can put them in chat. I'll be reading through chat messages. So it's on you tonight, team. All right. I can talk about my war stories, but they're particularly boring. You don't really want to hear them. So we can share. We can share things tonight. What we've done historically is people have shared stories. It can get quite moving. If there's one time a year where you'll see me get slightly emotional, this will be the one. And it's the only time it happens. All right. You did 1,100 members before it didn't happen, but this is one of those times. Okay. But we're here for you guys. You'll notice if you look on screen, you'll notice I have removed membership goal. I've removed sub goal. It's not about that shit today. That's not what it's about. And actually, I put a post out there on social media, and I stand by this. Today is a day that should never be changed. Today is a day where I don't give a shit about your race, your religion, your creed, your sexual orientation, your gender, your political stance. Today is not a day to push those agendas, to bicker or to argue. Today is the day where you're able to celebrate that you have those fucking freedoms in the first place because of what people did before you. And so that's what it's about today. And if you think about the stuff that's been going on in the last weeks, months, years, actually this is one of those times where you should stop, pause for a minute and realise that most people never had it so good. And actually the reason why you can debate these freedoms and debate these choices that you have is because of these people from 80 years ago. D-Day landings, 80 years ago. It's a poignant moment, I think, for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people would do well to take stock for 5 minutes and be like, you know what? I might be struggling with this thing or that thing. What I'm not doing is dying on a beach in Normandy.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there, chat. All right? When you think you've got it bad, we're not dying on beaches in Normandy, you know? We're not in trenches in the Somme. Will Stewart, thank you for 20 gifted. That being said, obviously donations are obviously welcome, and we're very, very grateful. Again, it's not about that. If nobody spends a single penny on the stream now after these 2 donos, I don't care. It's fine. I would obviously urge you all to !M4H. In fact, I'll type it right now. This is the charity that we're actively affiliated with. M4H, Models for Heroes. Those guys are amazing. Chuck them cash instead today. All right. Thank you, Will Stewart, for the 20 gifted. You are a fucking legend. I hope it's okay in New Zealand land. And thank you, Neil, for the 5 gifted as well over in America land. You people are incredible. But yeah, you know, that's my attitude on it today. This is that one time where I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck where you come from or what your background is, and I don't really particularly care about some of your troubles that you're having nowadays because your coffee's the wrong fucking flavour. Because there's bigger problems in the world. And there's actually, if we really truly think about it, there's bigger problems in the world right now as well. So it's one of those points where I'm like, let's not worry about your little privileged issues that you have right now. Let's worry about what these people did years ago so that you could actually worry about these little privileged issues. Also, Liam, Apaches are not old. I mean, they are.
For the troops.
Thanks, Roland Bain, for the $100, man. What fucking and your 20th ever super chat as well. What a poignant one to do. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Obviously, if you do chuck donos at us, we're going to be grateful, right? It's bonus stream though, so it's not part of my usual forecasting.
One of my favourite Remembrance days was when I did the 1942 3-course meal.
Oh my God.
I say 3-course with air quotes because we just had 3 different things to eat. There was no silver service. There was no... It wasn't like that. It was just 3 different dishes from a 1942 ration book. And it was a very immersive education for me, for sure. I would love to do it again now the boys are a bit older. Because when you get kids saying, we will never forget... Yeah, sure, but what are you not forgetting?
Yeah, the shame of that is often it sort of feels a bit rehearsed, and some of them are quite young, right? And
sure, so you can't, and you don't want to traumatise them because they're so innocent and little. So I thought, well, how can I invite the conversation of, Mum, what on earth is this?
So I had this conversation with my brother today because his youngest, at least, was asking what he meant by we're going to pay respects to those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, and she's what, 7?
Yeah, she's the same age as Ben.
She's 7, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, how do I explain that to a 7-year-old? I was like, you
kind
really.
of don't. And I think my approach to the world wars is I'm waiting for the questions to come at me and then we can answer them, leave him with that information, and maybe it's a couple of months until the next question. Maybe there's 5 more off the back of that. But I don't want to traumatise them because I saw pictures of Auschwitz. When I was 14, I was too young.
Yeah. I
had never seen people like that. I was way too young to see those photos.
Yeah. But yeah, Apaches are old, Neil. I just hate to say it to you. The one I worked on is now in a museum. That makes it old, right? Today I remember my granddad in the 8th Army and my uncle who served in the Green Jackets. Amazing. We're not in the jungle of Vietnam. Exactly, dirt, 100%. I did get hit by a mortar shell. Jesus, wasn't very fun either. I am peppered with metal they can't get out.
I bet airport security's a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't fly anywhere. Great-great-granddad in the Somme. Great-granddad who came back from building the Burma Railway. Grateful for the ones who made it and grateful for the ones who didn't. 100% Ash. Yeah. So, hey, Dave. How's it going, dude? To absent friends and family. Cheers, guys. Children and real war is a bad combo. I've seen kids that have seen too much. They're weird. Yeah, of course. We have to. It's hard. The balance between educating and protecting the children is a very difficult one to strike. I find quite often. And with 2 young kids in the house, we're having to kind of fight that balance as well a little bit. Because I don't want to traumatise them. Absolutely.
Our oldest one nearly had a Visa Vehicles syncope episode today. So I took him out of the main crowd. We went and sat near the ambulance just in case I had to flag down a paramedic. But he did his breathing, sat down, and then he was like, right, I'm going back in for the silence. I'm going back in.
Yeah, proud of him for that.
Yeah. And I was there saying, you really don't have to. We can do the silence here. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm proud of him for that one. 100%. Yeah. So yeah, chat, if there's anything you want to put into, if there's anything you want to put in chat, I can talk, I promise. If there's anything you want to put in chat today, I'll read through chat tonight. It's pretty much, it's like an old stream from times ago. I'm just going to read through chat. Your work for the veteran community is why I've always held this channel, despite being over 10th and the company's treatment of the community.
10th edition GW company.
Right, okay. I was like, what the fuck's he on about? I'm with you. Thanks, Luce, for translating. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you. I appreciate you hanging out around here anyway. I think a lot of people are like that with 10th, to be fair.
Recently my company got bought out. Won't know till February if I'm redundant or to move with company. Till then I'm pulling back on members. Best of luck.
Oh, you didn't have to tell me that with a super chat, dude. Bless you, though. Thank you. Hopefully you'll be fine.
A salute to all the wonderful people.
Barros Forge, thank you for attending. To you too, man. Yeah, it's interesting. So I said this before, Soldier of Nerdism as well. One of the things I think is most important to me with the channel in general, and we've said this a million times. I said this a lot recently, and that is that Warhammer or tabletop hobby is the reason we come together and find each other, right? So a lot of you wouldn't have found me if it wasn't for Warhammer. So you would have searched Warhammer Battle Report, or your YouTube would have thrown us up because you've watched something made by someone else shit like Mikey. I love you, Mikey. I can say that he's in Japan, and you know, and you stumbled across us because we do Warhammer content. So I always say that, you know, the reason why we find each other is because of Warhammer. But I like to try and build the community, or build a community that is such that the reason why people stick around isn't because of Warhammer. It's different. It's more of a community, of a family. I'm very proud of the fact that our audience is literally full of veterans and current serving from UK, US, and other parts of the globe. I'm very proud of that fact, actually. I don't think it's a massive surprise, to be honest with you. Brothers in arms are brothers in arms ultimately, and you know, I've never really found an ex-squaddy who I haven't just got on with, because there's shared experience there. And I think that, you know, that forms a bond. I've said this before. If you put 50 autistic fucking lunatics in a room who don't know each other and you don't give them any reason to talk to each other, they'll just stand there silently. If you then go, oh, by the way, all 50 of you like Warhammer, they instantly have a bond that they can talk about. It's kind of the same for squaddies as well. Like, you instantly have things you can talk about because of that shared experience. So, wait, was Liam in the army? Not real army, Carl. Not real army. Just fixed helicopters. My boy took part in his first parade today as part of the Sea Scouts. Very proud.
Lest we forgot.
Thank you so much, Edward, for the 50, dude. What a legend. 100% be proud of him as well for Sea Scouts. My eldest, my nephew was Cubs. Yes.
Oh, blimey. Cubs? There was so many little tots today.
I was like, there's Scouts and Cubs when I was a kid.
So our sister-in-law told us it goes squirrels, rainbows, brownies, beavers are in there somewhere, Cubs, Scouts, cadets.
Yeah, so I think...
And then you're a grown-up.
I think nephew was Cubs. I'm sure it's Cubs now.
Niece is brownies.
Niece is brownies,
and I only know that because it says brownies on the uniform. Yep. Otherwise, I'd have gone, it's brown? I'm going to say brownies.
And they asked for a little photo as well. We've got a lovely photo of me and them as well.
Photo.
I won't post it to social media because it's got my niece and nephew in it, and that's not fair. But Yeah, you should be proud of it, 100%. Very proud of how he handled it all. I was very proud of how my kids handled it. So the eldest choosing to come back in to do the silence is quite impressive, considering how he's up in bed at the moment because he's been feeling unwell all day, and he came and did the whole morning. My youngest, who's 7, who doesn't understand what the words "be quiet" mean, didn't make a sound through the
I
silence.
prepped him. I said there'll be a big bang sound and like a trumpet piece of music, and when they go off, you have to be quiet, and you can't make a noise until you hear it again.
Yeah.
So I'd prepped him, but they didn't do the cannon this year.
They didn't this year, did they? My dad told me a story about his time he was stationed in the Berlin Wall. Oh, wow. I've searched for a name of characters in Sesame Street and found you, Liam. Thanks, Dave. My dad did his best to teach us about this day. We just had to grow up and learn to respect this day in our own way, 100%. I hope he would be happy with how he respects this day. I mean, how people respect it is entirely up to them. I've never been an advocate for everyone must go to a ceremony, a service, and everyone must stand there and do the 2-minute silence. People can pay respects in their own way. I do get annoyed at people that show complete disrespect for the silence at the time in which it happens, but that's a me issue, I guess. I also like the behind the scenes content. Thanks, Carl. I had a nephew. His family got killed in 2021. He was only 12, but he couldn't make him start act normal. He just couldn't get back. I bet Peter. Hope he's okay. My friend USMC fired so many rounds, his arm is permanently crinkled into forever holding a rifle. He's one of the biggest heroes of my life, a real farm boy soldier. Oh, wow. Don't be sorry, Starpile. What are you sorry for? Were you late? G Grand Theft Auto over the top with his men, but survived. Fucking hell. Age 16. Captured and held in colders for the rest of the war.
I walked down to the village green this morning to the memorial, saw a bunch of 17-ish-year-olds say why are all these mongs stood about looking at a stone in silence. What a lost generation. Also the guy I've just employed is ex-Air Corps.
I would have probably lost my fucking shit if I'd have heard that, Dave, I'll be honest.
And this is why I do the little things like the 3-course meal from a 1942 ration book, because we do focus a lot on the men and women that went overseas to fight the war, but there was also a lot going on back home because it was a wraparound effort.
I mean, I would have lost my fucking shit at that moment, Dave, honestly. I would have...
we need to
peel me off the fuckers.
We need to acknowledge all the prongs of
course.
How...
A war effort is not just frontline soldiers.
No,
ultimately.
definitely.
And I'm terrible for this because I wasn't frontline. I'm like, I didn't really do anything important. Fixing Apaches in Afghanistan for 3 doors. But specifically back then as well, we have to be mindful of every effort that went in. And actually, what's really good when you watch the London-based parade and they talk through all the different groups that marched through, and you listen to all the different things that took part in the war. To the fact that even the head of the TfL, the head for Transport for London, gets to lay a wreath because of the Transport for London war effort in London. When you listen to it, you're like, oh shit. There's lots of cogs that made that work. Yeah,
everyone was doing something.
Rambo says, watching from the hospital, Mrs. Rambo is being induced tonight for his second born.
Oh.
So everyone say good luck to Rambo, because he's going to fucking need it. Some Light Dragoons and youngest is Air Cadet hoping to sign up. Oh, wow.
I was going to say something and it's completely gone.
My son is a squirrel and was in the Gosport Parade today. He did brilliantly.
Ah.
Give him a pat on the back, Escapade, 100%. We had the Royal Artillery at our event. Poor lads were towing their gun with a Pinsgauer, which was almost defeated by a slight incline of our town. No, what Luce was naming off. I turned out for a second, came back to Cubs, Brownies, Rainbows, and got super confused. It's youth groups here, essentially. People held their cool, to be fair, and continued. I was boiling. I would have been boiling as well, mate, 100%. One of my issues with education, kids don't learn about World War I and World War II unless year 9 and take history. Is that true?
I honestly don't know how I would approach it, because being too soft on the topic and you have a whole bunch of people leaving school not really understanding the gravity of what happened and being way too hard on it. Oh, I don't know how I would approach that.
Grandfather was transport, had his vehicle scuffed 3 times and had his co-driver die each one, Ended up being the only member of his original group to come home. Lost both brothers in France. Jesus Christ. My grandfather, my family was a family who's had children relatively young each time. So my grandfather actually didn't take part in the Second World War. My grandfather joined the artillery after the Second World War, when national service was still a thing, and got called up. And he always used to tell me and my brother as kids. He would always tell me and my brother that that's why the war ended.
Yeah.
The war ended. Hitler gave up because he knew that my granddad was coming.
Hitler knew.
He knew I was coming. That's what he told us. And as kids, as little kids, we fucking believed him. Of course we did.
Whoa!
Like, oh my god, granddad's amazing. And he wouldn't call it. He didn't say he joined the artillery. He said he joined the long range snipers. That's what he used to call them. Long range snipers is what he joined.
Okay.
That's a brilliant idea, Luce. Also, Liam, I would have lost my shit as well. And good luck, Rambo.
Good luck, Rambo. Good luck, mate.
My brilliant idea. I can't remember how I came about with it, but I got hold of a 1942 ration book, and I went to Morrison's, and I found as best I could the exact thing. And I'd costed a tin of stewed steak from a 1942 ration book, and in today's money it would have worked out at about £8 or something for this one tin. And I made this kind of meat steam pie where the butter was substituted for potato, so it was just something to bind the crust of the pie together. And all of us sat there kind of just pushing food around the plate, and it was a really amazing moment of, oh Jesus, this has no flavour, and it's just fuel for the
If I
body
may
at this
say
point.
so, it was fucking awful.
But it made me go, the next time I'm going to buy sugar, and I just get to buy a bag of sugar off the shelf,
absolutely.
and I just get to pick up some eggs and butter, all of these things are just immediately available to me.
Yep.
And if they got taken away from me, my cooking skills go out the window.
It was an experience. It was definitely fuel.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't need to eat for another 2 days.
It's just stodge, wasn't it?
Oh my god, it tasted so bland though. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it tasted bad. It didn't taste bad.
It
was
just
just
tasted
like
of nothing.
yeah, it's like eating
Yeah, and then the portion sizes as well. It was, if you don't eat this, there's nothing in the tank. Your body has used all the calories available, so you're going to have to eat this. I ended up making beans on toast at like, I don't know, midnight or something, because we've become so accustomed to flavour and herbs and spices and oils and fats and
things that make things taste nice.
yeah. And I loved it. I need to do it again, because what a way to ground yourself of, do not forget where you came from.
Yeah.
Because it can all go.
Dead Ewok says, I like this group, mate. Being ex-forces, you present it in a way that feels familiar. Keep it up, Micah. Thanks, dudes. I try. There's a big part of me that misses some of the forces' life, and being surrounded by so many of them in the chat is genuinely heartwarming and refreshing for me personally. There's a fair few of them in things like the Thanes group as well, which is really quite nice. Because I'm always more comfortable around forces or ex-forces people than I am around just normal people, dare I say. So yeah, I appreciate it. Knew all about World War II and other wars before school taught any of them. Military family and military town, so was always war movies, shows, all the COD Battlefield games growing up. I want to one day. I obviously want to sit down with my eldest and get him to watch shows like Band of Brothers and stuff.
I think he would get it. I reckon.
Well,
he'd
my
get
brother
it if
reckons
we
he's been
started-
showing his eldest. He's like, how was George, 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if I would be how happy I would be having a 9-year-old watch it, because I don't know. He might like it.
I think
The show's so good that you know.
Yeah, I think James will appreciate the history lesson of it.
Yeah, probably.
So
Almost
I think
definitely.
he'll be able to look past the cool guns.
I am grateful I went to a religious school and we were taught about World War I and World War II at year 7.
I do think. Thanks, Lehman, for the 5. I do think it's. I genuinely think it's important that we still teach young kids about the wars. We don't necessarily need to include all the gruesome details at that point, because I think at year 7, at like ages 10, 11, kids still understand the concept of death. So you can say 34 million people in the Second World War died, or however many it was. It's quite a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You can say that, and people will go, "Fuck." That's half the population of the UK currently. That's a lot. And then perhaps as they grow older, you start to go into some of the more gruesome details. But I do think that it's education that should never be... Like, we should... I put this, I think, in the social media post today. We should never forget. Ever. And we... there was the London March today, they had in attendance 6 D-Day veterans.
Oh.
6 of a total 11 that are still alive.
I know.
Ranging from, I think she said 98 to 101. I'm sure she said.
It was quite a small gap.
So from 98 to 101 for the 11 D-Day veterans still alive. You have to think that in the next 2 years, that number's going to be closing in on 0.
I'm so grateful that while I was a carer, I was able to speak to only a couple of veterans who still had their faculties so they could talk about it if they wanted to. Because I do remember the first-hand accounts. And I'm so grateful I have that, because now I can tell our children, and it's not some TikTok story. It's not in a history book that it might have been beefed up or dulled down. It was as he told it, because I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
And he was so angry at Remembrance Day. He didn't want to go. He didn't think it was a day we should remember because he lost so many.
Yeah. Well, we had 6 there, 6 at London today, 6 in the main march past the Cenotaph in London, out of a total 11 that's still alive, which, like I say, in the next 2-3 years means that number's going to unfortunately be closing in on 0, which means we're going to hit a time soon where there is no first-hand accounts left of what went on during D-Day in 1944. And so that then falls on our shoulders to ensure that we continue to educate the next generations about what the fuck happened back then, and to preserve all that information. And I think it's supremely important, because our Western freedoms exist because of these people. And so, you know, my kids, I don't know if I would call us a military family as such. We are, but we're not. So we are simply because I served in the army for 9 and a bit years, right? Best part of a decade. And I have a veteran's badge and I have medals. Okay, so in that regard, we're a military family. But my eldest was born in January 2013, and I left in September 2014. So he didn't grow up in military life as a military family. He never really experienced moving units and being posted and dad being away, really. Like at an age where he could comprehend what the hell was going on. He never really experienced that at all. So we're not really a military family in that regard. I'm the only one in my family that's done the army. My dad and any of his siblings, my brother's been nowhere near it. So my granddad was national service. That's about as far as my military history goes in our family. And I still will not let them I will still not let them forget, because they don't remember. I will make sure that the memories of these people were always drilled into these kids. And what happened will not be allowed to be forgotten in this household. It's as simple as that. And I'd urge everyone to do the same. I think it's important. Because when you forget what happens, people like that horrible dickhead from Austria gain power again. And we are at risk in the next 10, 20, 30 years of something like that maybe happening again if we forget about our past. Past educates the future. My dad said his men used to trade with the friendly villagers in Narm for things to make a meal better in the bush, often trading peanut butter with the locals found wondrous. Oh, wow. I think I was 11 to 13 when I sought out to watch Band of Brothers by myself. Interesting. I saw someone say, "Oh, Mikey, I feel bad that I've yet to watch Band of Brothers. I hear so many good things about it." Probably my favourite TV series ever made. By a mile.
I'm already pondering the scene. Is it Tom Hardy when he's having sex with that girl and they come in for the silverware because they're taking it home as souvenirs? I'm still pondering the whole.
It's not that bad.
Do I say, because he knows he's beginning to know about sex ed, but you know, it's like.
Yeah, I don't think that's that bad.
Does that need to be in there?
It's
probably not.
It's honestly, Mikey, it's my favourite series of all time. Like it's phenomenal. I dread to think how many times I've watched Band of Brothers. It must be close to matching the amount of times I've watched the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah, we normally start it on Armistice Day.
Yeah, we can start it tomorrow. We
Yeah?
can. I fucking get it on the big TV, get the sound system on. It's fucking glorious.
No, we don't need to deafen each other.
Yeah, we do, chat. If we don't study history and learn nothing from it, then we're doomed to repeat it. Exactly, Michael.
Yeah.
100% my point. 100% my point. But I also want to add a caveat here, which might be an unpopular caveat, but fuck it, I don't care on days like today, quite frankly. The caveat I want to add to that is that we also, I think, in the modern day, need to be careful how often we brandish certain words about and call people certain names and use certain labels. Because I think it's too easy nowadays for people to throw labels at individuals based on things that occurred in the Second World War. You're looking at me confused.
Yeah, you're being far too cryptic.
I have to
even
be
for
cryptic
me.
because you can't say the words on stream all too often.
Do you want me to get you the whiteboard?
No,
And you
it's
can
fine.
write it on there like...
But people throw certain extreme names at individuals nowadays,
Oh, okay.
and I think it's used too fucking freely. To be honest. Have you seen the Generation War? It's World War II from the life of a group of German friends. I haven't, no. No, should we do a field trip to the Eden camp? It's a great place to visit and learn about the wars. Yeah, we can do. Fucking Great Hall field trips coming up. I'm into it. My granddad never spoke about his experiences. He was evacuated from Normandy and then got sent into the jungles of Burma. He was the only one of his mates to return from the war. Wow. Yeah. I think that's why he never spoke of it. I have all his medals and kit at home now. I don't find out didn't find out what he went through until after he had died. One very proud grandson, as you should be, absolutely.
I'm tempted to do a Life and Times long haul project with James about Hitler, because he asks questions that you can answer them, but you need to refer back to. So his biggest question is how did one man get so powerful, and how was he able to do all of these things? And then when I said, well, we kind of need to talk about the Great Depression then. What's that? Well, that happened because of this. Well, what's that? Right, okay. So let's go right back to the start.
Yeah.
Because learning about one event that was absolutely massive, it still has so many unanswered questions of, I still don't understand how one man was able to get such a following. I don't understand. Because he's also living in a time where we challenge each other all the time.
The thing is also, to understand how one man got such a following, you have to start at the First World War.
Yeah.
So you have to take it right back.
So I was thinking, over the next academic year, so our academic years go from January to the end of November, shall we just do the life of Hitler? He was born on this day, go, and we're going to follow him, so that maybe by the end of November, and at any point he can go, this is too big, this is too enormous, I can't, there's too much information, let's stop here. Fine, we can pick it up in 3 years or whatever, or start again in 3 years. But he's so good at asking questions that are... There's actually kind of 6 answers to that one question.
He asks very mature questions as well. I'm quite proud of the questions.
Which is why I think he'll be okay with Band of Brothers.
I think he will. Yeah.
I think he'll be okay with it.
Yeah. It's Epic Eden Camp. I don't know if you can post links in chat, because I think only mods can post links in chat, because we had a problem with sex bots for a while. But I don't know what Eden Camp is. I don't know if I've been. I've done a battlefield tour of the beaches in France. That's fucking incredible. Very, very good. It was a long time ago, though. I'd like to go again at some point. Only around 8 million nasties in the peak of Germany. Think about that. Indifference of others. Well. Sometimes I think that I didn't do enough to be considered a veteran. Well, what did you do? I'll put it this way, Ronan, right? Let me put it this way. This September, just gone, marked 10 years since I left the forces. And also marked 10 years since the British Army pulled out of Afghanistan. And this year is the first year after leaving the army that I actually went to Remembrance Parade wearing my veterans badge, my medals, and my beret. Because I haven't been able to do it Look, we've had this conversation in the past. I haven't been able to do it because I was like, I didn't do full service. I did less than 10 years, just under 10 years. I only did Afghanistan. I've only got 2 medals. Was the word I used a lot, right? And there was an interview that was done on the BBC Today with a guy who said it doesn't matter if you put the uniform on for a day. You put the uniform on.
Yeah.
A lot of people never get to that point.
Because to put the uniform on, you had to pass basic.
To put the uniform on, you have to do the training.
Yeah.
You have to do selection. You have to do the training. So I don't know what you did or didn't do, Roland, in the US forces. But to say sometimes I think I do not feel I didn't do enough to be considered a veteran. 1, I relate. 2, you probably did. You probably did. It takes something to do the selection process. It takes something else to pass that selection process. To have the balls to go to selection in the first place takes something. Mm-hmm. To then pass the selection process is another tick in the box as far as I'm concerned. You then have basic training. You have to pass basic training. When I started basic training, and I wasn't infantry, we didn't have the hardest basic training in the world because I wasn't infantry. I was an engineer. I was a mechanical engineer. And I joined basic training in an artillery troop. Right? We started with over 48 people. I think it was 48. Maybe it was exactly 48 people in our troop. We started our intake. 48 people. Right? We had 2 people, I think it was, in total, back course onto our troop because they'd been in a previous intake and they'd got injured and they had to wait, heal, come in and got back coursed in, right? We passed out with 24 people. So if you think about the fact that 2 people back course, we had over 50% attrition through our basic training course of just 12 weeks.
What's attrition?
People that failed and left.
Oh, okay.
They either failed or they dropped out or they quit or they went home or whatever.
Okay.
Over 50% attrition. Just for 12-week basic training.
It doesn't sound like a lot because you're not really living on your own as a 17, 18-year-old. Not really. So it doesn't sound that challenging, but I bet being in it, how soon did homesickness start?
Fast.
Yeah.
So basic training in the British Army at least was always a case of, especially when I was doing it with artillery, was always a case of we're going to break you down, and then once we've broken you down, we'll build you back up. Now, I don't know if you know this, chat. I'm a stubborn little fuck. I know you're all shocked right now, but I'm a stubborn little fuck. And it took him a while, and I remember a specific day in basic training, and I think we were about 5 weeks in, which is quite far in, before I sat in the chair in my 24-man room, by the way. I sat in a chair and fucking bawled my eyes out. I was like, I'm ready to go home. Mm. And thankfully, 5 weeks in, you've built enough relationships with the guys around you. They circle around you. They put the arms around you. Like, you don't want to go home.
Yeah, you're fine.
You want to go home right now, but you don't want to go home.
Yeah.
And they pulled me through it.
Yeah. Did they do the whole, you're tired? I think it was that. I think, honestly, genuinely speaking, it was that first moment, 5 weeks into basic training, I think that's the first moment I was like, this is more than just a job. This is a family and a brotherhood. And I think that was one of the things, like I said to you earlier in the stream, it's one of the things we've been trying to build in this community, because that's the thing that I think I valued more than anything at that point. So, you know, it was a horrible moment. I wanted to phone my parents up at that point. I was 18, and I wanted to phone my parents, but I want to come home. Do you reckon if you had have called that they'd have talked you around, or they'd have said, all right, you can come
My mum would have fucking probably dragged me home straight away. I think if I phoned up and said I want to come home, she'd have been in the car already. And my dad would be the one that'd be like, are you sure you want to come home?
Yeah.
Because I didn't really quit things when I was younger. I didn't really give up on shit. And I think he'd have been like, are you sure, Dad? And my mum would have been the one that's all the way halfway down the motorway. I'm coming, son! That would have been her, honestly.
She would have been.
You're fucking right, it would have been. She'd have gone busting through the fucking front gates, in the car. I'm coming! Honestly.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. All of it 100%. Thanks, Dad. In peacetime, engineers and logistics maintain the strength to prevent wars. Yeah. My eldest 14 years said yesterday that he wants to join the army. It took me quite a few years to realise this, but once I put my hand up, I was saying that your family was as important to my own hide. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it took me ages to be in a place where I was happy to put the headdress on stick the medals on the veterans bag, or not feel silly in a suit jacket with medals on and a beret on my head. Took me ages. Like, it's taken me 10 years to get to this point. So, you know. Who was it who said it? Roland Bain. So I don't know what you did. I reckon you did enough. I don't know if that helped at all. Did you see the rules that Lawrence from TTT has made to replicate the SM2 game? No. No. It's not about Warhammer today, Rambo. Alright? You're supposed to be having a baby. Fuck off. 13 years for me, I still don't go. Serve with a guy who won a VC and lived. Fucking hell. Still never feel, I did enough. I only did 2 deployments. Fuck, can you hear this though as well?
I know. You're all terrible
I never feel like I did enough. I did 2 deployments. Served with a guy who won a Victoria Cross.
So I'll ask you this, chat. What is enough? If you don't think what you've done is enough, what is enough?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I was at my mate's top table a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, and top table is when you leave and you've done like 22 years, which is in the army considered a full career. And there's a little, I mean, it's like a slither. I mean, like 2% that's like, I wish I had this prestige as well of doing a full term. I don't think we would have coped as a family unit.
We would have probably have been divorced.
No, and I, you know, ultimately my family came first for me. That's the choice that I made. And that's why it's like a 2% slither rather than like a 50% slither of I wish I stayed on. Because actually, you know, I think I made the right choices for my family and my family's life. But there is a little part of you stood in that mess. And Lee, my mate, you know, one of my closest friends, in his full mess dress with all of his medals and stuff, I'm like, little bit envious, tiny.
I think.
So, but I think then when people have done a full career and done tours, etc., I think maybe then they feel like they've done enough. But I would bet money on the fact that Lee will come out after 22 years, and for the first few parades, he won't put his gear on. He'll be like, oh, I can't call myself a veteran. Guaranteed. 100% guaranteed.
I might just say to him, right, stay still. I'll chop a leg off now, because then maybe you'll feel like a veteran if you're missing something. Is that enough? Missing a limb, is that enough for you to feel like a veteran? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bored. She's not even in labour yet. I hope you haven't got this on loud, Sam. You get your fucking Jacobs cut off while she sat there. Liam stubborn. I would have never have thought it. I don't know what you're talking about, Sponge. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're all amazing, chat. You're all fucking incredible. And you know, when you think about the fucking 3 degrees of separation as well, the majority of people, even in chat right now, even if they're not a veteran themselves or current serving, probably know someone, probably have someone relatively close to them who's either veteran or ex-7. I think if all of you stop and think about it, you probably know someone somewhere. And if you know a person who's current serving or veteran, the likelihood is you've probably also played your part. A lot of people don't realise this, but you probably also played your part. Brom, fucking rock.
I know, yeah.
Never joined the army. Absolute rock for me.
He came to visit me while you were in Afghan on tour number 3. He came to visit me with flowers and chocolates that you'd arranged with him to give to me the village is still here. Yep. Don't worry.
He was phenomenal. He was consistent through all 3 tours with me and every exercise, always on the end of the phone, always there, no matter what.
Yeah.
He's done enough. Never pulled a uniform on. Wee Man says, spend your time on this well, putting others before yourself, then you're enough for me. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that's part of where the modern day world has gone wrong. I've said this forever. Imagine if every single person in existence every day did a little good deed. And this doesn't have to be a financially crippling good deed. Right? When I say a good deed, I don't mean give your neighbour £1,000. I mean just do something nice for someone. If every single person did something nice for someone every single day, then the world would be a better place instantly. Manners are free as well.
Yeah.
Fucking grips my shit how far manners have just dropped off the face of the earth nowadays. Simple pleases and thank yous.
Yeah.
That annoys me. But you're right. Do something for someone else. Spend your time trying to help people. I also believe in a form of karma. I personally believe that if I spend my time on this world trying to help people, then if there ever comes a time, and God forbid, I hope it doesn't happen, and touch wood, I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but if there ever comes a time where I then need that help, I'd like to think there's a group of people that's like, fucking good bloke over there, spent his time helping other people, and now he needs some help. We're going to go help him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not quite the full spiritual karma, but it's a form of karma. What's she doing?
She's rolling around and wobbling your guitar.
Oh, is she? On your bed? My friend did 5 years and was medically discharged and refused to call himself a vet. That's a real problem. I think. Here's the thing though, chat. Right. This is a thing where I think the Americans do it slightly better than us.
Yeah, they definitely do.
The Americans are much better at championing their vets and going, "You lot are fucking heroes." In the UK, we're shit at it. We're shit at championing our vets on the whole. And so when people medically discharged, doesn't call himself a vet. The people around him should be like, "You fucking are." I've not served myself, but know a lot of the served in various capacity give me quite the insight. There you go. Pretty sure I told the story before, but great uncle was a CB during World War II. Went through hell in the Pacific, saw the bombs drop, and eventually retired. He went through a hell we don't really. Oh, exactly.
Really talk about in the States, which is a fucking travesty.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for finishing that off. At least where I found the rest of the chat. My grandfather never called himself a veteran. He was in the Israeli army and fought for the Israelis' independence. Fucking people, honestly. What is it with fucking the majority of forces just being overly humble all the time? Be proud.
If they were to come out with the truth of it, would recruitment drop off an edge?
I don't know. I'm one of the few adults that my brother gets to talk to about non-military things with. The last time I saw him, I taught him how to play Blood Bowl. There you go, see? Escapade, helping immediately. Was it evil to bungee cord a squad mate to a tree in his sleep? No.
Maybe the Queen of Facts can check, but they said today that if the people who died fighting for this country stood 3 abreast, the line would start at the Cenotaph and end in Edinburgh.
They did say that, yes, and yes. Absolutely.
I didn't realise the impact we had until we started getting guys coming to the deck to thank us for providing ugly support. Liam, I bet you saw the worth when the bell was rung in the rub.
Yeah, oh my fucking mouse battery's dying, hang on. Yeah, I didn't really get that on my first tour. But interestingly, second and third tour, that happened a fair amount. We used to do tours of the aircraft. So a lot of people in infantry units and stuff, paras, commandos, guardsmen, etc., out on the ground fighting rifles. They know of Apache there in the sky about that big, but they never go anywhere near one. So in Afghanistan they turn up to the flight line and be like, can we have one close up? And you'd be like instantly be like, yeah, of course you can, 100%. And so I'd often be the knobhead that was dicked for taking them around and showing them the aircraft and teaching them about it all. And you do a full walk round and you let them sit in the cockpit and all sorts. And the thanks and stuff you got would make me uncomfortable. It's the fucking pilot pulling the trigger up there. It's not me. But obviously we're the reason why they get in the sky. So Gaz says ugly support, by the way, just so you guys know. Det detachment, ugly support. The call sign for Apache was ugly. That was the call sign for it.
Because it's ugly?
Come on, young. Things have call signs. Its call sign was ugly. Ugly one, ugly two. So ugly support. If they're called ugly support, they're calling for Apache. So that's what he means there, right? And when the bells rung in the rub, so we had these fucking great big hangars, these great big like rubberized hangar type things. There's a bell, and then we used to have a thing called VHR, very high readiness. We used to have 2 aircraft on permanent VHR. The pilots would sign the aircraft themselves and sleep out the back of the hangar, like literal sprinting distance away. And if that bell went, that meant we had a VHR call. A VHR call meant we had troops in contact and the Apache had to get up in the sky as fast as possible. They would literally fall out their beds, sprint to the aircraft, lift immediately to go and support them. And it was also called for medevacs as well. So if they called the Chinook ambulance helicopter, essentially, if they called that in, they used to have to always go with Apache support at the same time. So we had 2 aircraft chat that was permanently sat there, ready to go at all times. And when they rang that bell, that was your focus. That was, get that fucking aircraft in the sky is the focus, that's it. And they used to, especially on my last tour as well, because I was the class 1 at that point, used to have to, me and another avionics aircraft technician would be stood on the wings with headsets in case they had a problem. It's a case of plug in, what's your fault? And at that point, that's like, I've run multi-million-pound contracts for Rolls-Royce. That's like the most stressed you'll ever be. When there's an aircraft sat on the ground, engines running, and the pilot goes, I've got a fault, I need to get up in the sky now. And it's like, you're the one bloke that can fix that. That is pressure.
You're very young for it as well.
That was 2012. It's 12 years ago, so I was 25. So quite young.
Could you grab a 25-year-old today and say, here's your scenario? And you only get 12 weeks training for it.
Some will, I guess. Some will do it. The Army's got aircraft engineers who are 25 years old who are Class 1s. But when you're in the situation, it's different. When you're in that situation, you rely on your training. You rely on the practice. You rely on your knowledge. It's weird. If you thinking about it now, you think, fuck me, that sounds like stress. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing that job, and you've been doing that job every day for 3 months in the desert, what's the fault?
What's the biggest adjustment to coming back home? Lack of stress?
No. So do you know what the biggest adjustment for me to coming back home was how no one was in a rush to do anything.
I remember you being on leave and me trying to get you to calm down. Slow down, calm down. This is your leave. Calm.
No. The biggest problem I had, that I had coming home was that there was no sense of urgency anywhere, ever. The sense that, like, when you're in Afghanistan, even things like ordering spare parts and stuff like that, the sense of urgency to get things to you, to get aircraft serviceable, was just fucking high all the time.
Yeah.
And then in the UK, you're like, I need this part. Like, yeah, I'll be there in 2 weeks.
I remember walking around Ipswich with you, heavily pregnant. You were practically tabbing everywhere, heavily pregnant. If I wasn't mildly jogging, it was mad. And it was just because you was pent up is maybe the wrong word, because you weren't cross and you weren't triggered in any way. I think it was like, babe, slow down, calm down, it's fine, you're back home, it's fine. I should not be jogging. I'm 9 months pregnant.
I straight up think that's the hardest adjustment.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of free time as well. So when you have free time over there, we did 24-hour shifts, 24 on, 24 off. When you have free time over there, you feel it.
Yeah.
So you're like, I don't want to have free time. I don't want to be doing nothing because
that's not productive.
Because I'll be missing home and missing my wife, and it'd be shit. So I would finish shift, lunchtime, go back, have lunch, maybe have like an hour's nap because we had a long shift, be hard. Go gym in the afternoon, back dinner, and then we would organise like an evening of cards or whatever, etc. etc. Next morning, get up, go for a run, like just constant fucking do something, back on shift. And so the days melt away. They do melt away because you're just busy all the time. And when you're off shift, you just fill it with stuff. So you don't think about the fact that you're in Afghanistan. You don't think about the fact that your wife's at home pregnant, for example. And then when you get home, and it's like, it's your first weekend. Well, actually, you get home, you do decompression week. And then after your decompression week, there you go, I have 2 weeks leave. What do I do now?
Yeah.
I don't understand what this thing is, which is called nothingness.
I remember you being back home, and whenever you would go on tour, I would pack all of your stuff into one big cardboard box and then put that box in the spare room and shut that door for like 4 months. It's too painful after a while. It's not nice memories. It's not little trinkets of you being around. It's just fucking painful, and I can't bear to look at it. So get in the box, get in the spare room, and I'll see you in 4 months. And then so I looked forward to essentially unpacking you every time you were due home. I get to put all your things back and I get to polish them up, and I think I know where they all went, but he'll probably fix it and tinker with it anyway. And then watching you feel like a guest in your own home for the first couple of weeks was interesting.
You almost don't unpack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was ground crew for Vulcans, left before met my mother, so he rarely speaks of his time. He finished before the Falklands, so not during war. I mean, I'd argue he's almost lucky. Never saw his medals. When out, he volunteered for ROC for several years. We lost him this year, so it was more real this morning as I paraded as a scout leader. Well done, Jamie. You can wear his medals, you know.
Also watching the London March today, I swear to God towards the end of the procession one of the branches were dressed like Hufflepuff.
What did I say?
Isn't that Scotty's little soldiers though?
I'm not. I don't remember. But what did I say? Literally sat here.
Was it the black and yellow?
Yeah, I was like, it's literally the fucking Harry Potter march. I said the same thing yesterday.
I'm pretty sure that was Scotty's little soldiers. So I think it's children who their parent has died overseas.
I said the same thing. Yes, and thank you for the 10, and then the 5, by the way, and Gaz, thank you for the 10. I should say thank you. And thank you. Oh, no, we haven't got any more members. It was just Neil and Will. Thank you for the members earlier as well, people. You're amazing. That wasn't what this is about, as I'm trying to just spin stories and chat shit, but may not be human, but let's not forget canines that served. Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. It's almost harder when they get killed. There's a difference, isn't there? It's weird. Military service dogs get me every time as well, because to a point, military service personnel know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
Military service dogs don't necessarily know what they're getting themselves into.
No.
So, you know. To all served and whose families have served, thank you for your selfless actions that mean I can live safely with my daughter. Well, exactly. This is the thing, mate. This is what I'm getting at. This is the thing that people, I think, forget nowadays when they are bickering on social media about an opinion about something. Like, you are aware as to how you're and why you're allowed to have this opinion, right?
A day was weirdly 2 days with an on and off shift. Hanging around in Cyprus to decompress used to wind me up when you just want to go home.
Yeah.
I think it's because us back here, when you say, oh, I've got R&R in, I don't know, the moon, and you go, oh, okay, because we're missing you too, and we're also trying to fill the time. And all we've got is family going, have you heard from him? Have you heard from him? Have you heard from him? So we're trying to busy ourselves as well. And then when you send to us, oh, we're going over to Cyprus, it does make us go, oh, well, that's nice. Because I now have heard from you, and all I get to tell everybody is that you're on a jolly. I know you're not on a jolly. I know you're not.
Cyprus decompression would. So I get. So Gaz is right. Like, a day is 2 days because you start.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We started shift at the last tour, at least. We started shift at midday and finished shift at midday the next day. So because it spreads over 2 days, when you've got your morning activity for me run, evening activity which was gym and maybe some cars or something with the lads, you would have 48 hours as a day. It's weird. So time literally flies.
Yeah.
Because and then you go into shift and shift to shift, and you go in and you just fucking tune in and off you go and you do your job. And, you know. And then Cyprus, I'm with you guys. Decompressing in Cyprus was the shittest thing. And, you know, I watched some great shows at Cyprus, because they put shows on for you. So you'd fly to Cyprus, they'd land at Cyprus, you've got 3 days here, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to unwind the spring before they then put you in with your families.
Let your brain sponge.
Yeah, and what they're doing is, because a lot, it's not, I'll be honest with you, I think it wasn't necessarily as needed for what we were doing over there, because we were just dialed in for what we were doing back here, which is fixing aircraft. I think it's more for like infanteers and stuff. What basically happens is, you go to Cyprus, and logically speaking, you've just been in an active conflict zone for the last 4 to 6 months. You're like a coiled tight spring. What they don't want to do is take those coiled springs and go, there you go, into normal family life, off you go. Because at some point that spring will go bang, and they don't want to be around. So what they do is they take you into Cyprus and they put shows on and give you a couple of cans of beer each that you haven't drank for 5 months, and they kind of try and gently unwind that spring a little bit. So if it goes like that rather than going like that, you know?
Yeah.
And so I get why they did it, but I always felt like it tightened my spring more. I want to fucking go home! But the logic's there. Like, I get what they're trying to do, you know? I
remember going into work because before babies, it was just me in the house, and I didn't really make friends on the patch because you hear rumours and you just decide to stay well out of it. So I was trying to work so much. And before we moved to Hadley, and I was still in my little life in college, I tried to pick up so many extra shifts that my boss was like, if you work here anymore, you're going to put a bed in that staff room. Go home. No, I don't want to go home. Just give me extra shifts. I don't have any shifts.
Interesting. Australia just dumps us back in the family. It is so surreal. Yeah, they don't do that here. And then when you get back to camp, normally you get a day, and then you come back in for a week, and you have to sort all the equipment out, put everything away, tidy everything up, all that kind of stuff. So so you get like 5 days again of it's kind of like further decompression and getting back to normal life in Rig in the UK, and then eventually off you go. You've now got some time off.
Yeah.
But even then, I get to time off and be like, I don't know what this nothingness is. It feels weird to me. What do you want to do today? You can do anything you want. I don't know what I want to do.
I remember doing the last few shifts at the care home I was at that looked right down at our house. And were you and Gaz on tour together at tour 3?
No.
Okay. No, you weren't, because Gaz was helping me put my shoes on. But I remember being in my little laundry room, and
That's a memory.
I saw his car pull onto the driveway, and I started work at 7:30 in the morning, and I saw his car pull onto the driveway, and I was texting you like, why are you out of bed? Why are you even awake? Why are you getting in the car? This is your day off. Why are you doing stuff? You're meant to be sitting at home watching TV and calming down. Stop. Don't get dressed. Don't do anything today. And you'd text back, just popping out. For what exactly?
I want to be busy.
I just need to do something.
I need to be busy. Oh my lord. Mr. the Roland Bain. We don't have a membership goal tonight, chat. But Mr. the Roland has just dropped 50 gifted memberships.
50.
Can we have a loose hope for 50 gifted on a Sunday? Can we?
I hope for you, Roland Bain, that the next time you buy a bottle of water from the shop, it's not in the thinnest water bottle that makes all the noise when you're trying to drink out of it. That's what I hope for you. Water bottles are getting thinner. The plastic ones, the disposable ones.
I fucking hate these little lids that stay on as well.
I can't even pick it up without it. I bet the microphone's picking that up every time.
What's this fucking flippy lid bollocks? I hate it.
It's because they can be recycled together, I assume, and they're being separated, so the lids...
So after our $100 dono from Roland, he then comes in and drops 50 gifted memberships, putting us on 75, 76, because I just gifted one as well. 76 new members. Oh my god, people. Thank you so much. We're 24 away from what would have been a target.
Do you know what? I'm going to pour it in because...
On a bonus day.
I'm just going to end up making all the noise. How thin is that bottle? I swear to God, that's one stiff breeze away from blowing away in the wind and just... I can't reach. You're going to have to reach. There you go. It's so thin.
I don't even know what this brand is. I don't think it's... I don't think it's an English brand, Lise.
It's water.
Well, maybe. It is because there is no target. Oh, is that the new trick? Is that the new trick, yeah? Just take it off, Liam. You're a big, manly man. Rip the lids off. I do. I always rip the lids off. Otherwise, Otherwise, what happens is...
See, you can't...
Fucking hate it.
You can't even pick it up without making a noise on it. It's so thin.
Fucking hate it, honestly. Unbelievable. Jill says, great granddad was a fire marshal in World War II in central Manchester. Lost a few of his mates when the incendiaries caught. Great grand hated him and was embarrassed as he was medically unfit to serve. Oh, bless.
Oh.
My friend Mac became a baker after the Marines. It was his way of decompressing, a new life of creation to offset a time of destruction. That's quite a nice way of looking at it.
I could totally get that.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Tap water from another town. It's not another town in England, let me put it that way. Our local fish and chip shop does not buy bottled water from the UK. Because nothing's in English on it.
I don't care. It's water.
Water? Yeah, but why are we importing water?
Because ours is... Have you not heard? All of our water is dirty. All of it is.
The bird is the word? Yeah. Well, thank you, chat, for joining us tonight anyway. We've still got 25 minutes to go. But because
We got 25 minutes to go.
Because I said we finish at 9.
Yeah.
Because I need my bed. It's been a long weekend. It's been a fucking great weekend. Also, actually, mini rant, little rant, right? I'm getting really pissed off with the minute silence at sporting venues.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this.
I don't know when this happened, that we normalised not doing a minute's silence and clapping and whooping instead, right? But it needs to fucking stop. So I went to Southampton's home game last Saturday, and they had a man with a bugle, and he was going to play last post. Now, for the majority of services, when you don't have fucking Big Ben, last post means shut the fuck up, it's time for some silence. Right? A minute to 2 minutes. Last post plays, lowers his fucking bugle, silence, cunts, because people died. Right? And then, when he raises his bugle and plays Reveille, that's it then. The silence finishes. Cheer away in your stadium. But for some reason now, that's stopped. So, on Saturday last week, the bloke stands there at Southampton and plays last post. Everyone's silent for last post. Last post finishes, the fucking crowd all cheers and all the players run off. I was like, the fuck's going on? That's not silence. What the fuck? I was already annoyed. Anyway, yesterday I went to Twickenham and I was like, we're at Twickenham, right? It'll be alright at Twickenham.
Liam's done it now. Bird, 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 bird is the word. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. Superthing by Erd.
Superthing by Erd. Thanks, Alex, for the 5, dude. So we get to fucking Twickenham. I was like, rugby will get it right. Rugby always gets it right. Rugby will get it right. Tannoy comes on. Last post, followed by a minute silence, followed by Reveille. Bugler stands there, plays last post. Plays it beautifully, by the way. Last post finishes and half the crowd start cheering. They literally said a minute silence. You fucking pissed idiots. So eventually they start going, hey! They start clapping, and eventually they're like, some of them realise, oh, no one on the fucking pitch has moved. Everyone still stood there. The cameras are all watching people on the pitch. They all stood there, as they should fucking be.
Yeah.
So most people then started to shut up. There's a group behind us, fucking pissed idiots, and I must have fucking looked like I was about to murder one of them. Because I looked over my shoulder, just fucking glared because he wouldn't shut up.
You're just such a grizzly
And one of
bear.
his mates was like nudging the rest of them after I fucking looked at him like I was about to murder him and his family. I was like, shut up. When did this whole, instead of a minute silence, we're all going to cheer? What, fuck off. Pay some fucking respects. I did hear, however, that at the Millennium Stadium today for Wales, they actually did it properly, so well done to you lot. Honestly, I can't. Leeds Riders applauded on the 7th minute at a home game in order to rob Florida. That's different, Dave, isn't it? That's different. I was annoyed today. He stood there at the 2 minute silence at 11 o'clock. I could hear cars driving behind me. Stop your fucking life for 2 minutes. The fucking... in my personal opinion... It's an opinion. In my personal opinion, the fucking country should stop at 11 a.m. on Sunday that is Remembrance Sunday. Should stop.
A few years ago, before we lived in this house, I was on Totton High Street on Armistice Day. So not the Sunday of Remembrance, but Armistice Day. And my watch must have been slow because I heard a bang and it didn't occur to me that was the cannon. I looked at my watch and I thought, no, I've still got time. I'm going to quicken and get to the cenotaph. Bumped into a lady who was standing still, apologised. She looked scornfully at me and I sort of looked to her, and that's when I realised everyone else on the street was stood still. My watch was slow. So I have been the person that's accidentally...
That's a mistake, though.
I felt so awful.
That's it's a little bit different. That's a mistake. There's just people that just willfully go about their lives at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, which is Remembrance Sunday, and it fucking grips me. And I know, I'm conscious that I probably shouldn't hold everyone to my standard. I'm asking for 2 minutes out of your life once a year.
Yeah.
That's it. To shut the fuck up, stop, and stay dead still. If we were ever travelling on Remembrance Sunday when we were kids, Dad would pull over and stop.
Yeah.
He'd pull over, he'd be like, oh, it's 10 to 11, there's a lay-by, and he'd pull over at 10 to 11. Like, I'm staying here now until the 2 minute silence is done. That's how I was brought up. We fucking literally stopped the car. It does my fucking head in, that. And this new fucking thing about a minute silence and everyone just claps instead. No, you were told a minute silence, so shut the fuck up, be quiet for a minute, and stand there and remember the people. I was ready to kill a man yesterday when that happened at rugby, honestly.
For years, I've had people, whenever I've said something slightly outrageous about, I might try this, I might chop all my hair off, I might dye it blue. Everyone's gone, what's Liam got to say about that? And for years, I've gone, I don't give a shit. It's not his hair. It's not his colour. It's not his whatever. And I think it's because you come out with phrases like, I'll kill a man.
I think this is a worthwhile.
And I've been here the whole time going, he's a teddy bear. Don't listen to him.
Ben says, I'm an army dog handler, and even our dogs on parade know to stay quiet. Too many mongs who don't care anymore. The thing is, Ben, your army dogs have probably got more intelligence than some of these people. That's part of the problem. Someone get this man a membership as well. Get him in our community if he's a fucking current serving army dog handler. We want him to be one of us. Now. Now, chat! I stood at the top stairs when my alarm went off at night, 10:59 a.m. No one around, just me, and I still need to pay my respects. Well done, Alex. Top work, mate.
At the top of the stairs, though.
But he stopped.
Could have moved to the right or the left for safety.
My dad got in trouble once for pulling his bus over for the silence, only to have all the passengers to complain. Fucking... If that's... Right. Right, Garsty. Next time that happens, if all the customers complain, tell him to pull back out and then dive out the door just before he lets it go off a fucking cliff. Give him a reason to fucking complain. It's a real lack of awareness from a lot of folks. Even if it's not something you observe, you can still respect the people who do. Why wouldn't people observe it, though? Okay, door. Thank you for the one gifted. Trying to get Ben, I think. Trying to get Ben.
Do service support for card payment firm. Look after a couple of supermarket chains. All our alerting went off like there was a fire because they stopped trading for a few minutes. It was nice to see.
That is nice to see.
I didn't know they did that.
Working retail. So Stefan says working retail on Remembrance Sunday and Armistice Day shows how many people don't give a monkeys. So obviously we stopped today for 2 minutes. By the way, yes, and thank you for the one gifted. Obviously we stopped today for 2 minutes at 11, and tomorrow we will stop at 2 minutes for 2 minutes at 11. I will fucking stop because it's Armistice Day. That's what you should do.
I wonder if the radios will do it.
I used to, when I was, do you know what shocked me? When I worked at Siemens, I used to run the depot. I used to be the production manager for the depot, right?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, Remembrance Sunday, I worked 2 Remembrance Sundays with my shift. And working Sunday, obviously you're there in the morning at 11 o'clock. And I would always do I'd always do my start of shift brief on Remembrance Sunday and say to my team, of which a couple of them were ex-forces as well, like, we will be observing the 2-minute silence at 11 o'clock, and you will know when it's coming. They'll be like, the very first time I did it, my lot were like, oh, you will know it's coming. And I used to go upstairs to the reception area where they had a big tannoy system that played over the whole depot. And just before 11 o'clock, about 1 minute 52 seconds, I think it was, before 1 o'clock, I'd get my phone out and I'd play Last Post over the tannoy system for the whole depot. And then I'd sit there for 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes, I'd then press play again, and I'd play Reveille. And the ex-serving used to come and be like, "That's a really nice touch."
I was going to say, an awful lot of ex-military go into the railway.
So they would hear Last Post over the tannoy, and they'd all stop what they were doing, and then Reveille would tell them that it was time to carry on working, and they loved it. I was like, it wasn't even effort, it wasn't even hard work. That was easy to do, you know. Appreciate, bro. I'm ex-infantry. I had enough of eating crayons. Thought I'd get nailed by dogs. 5 years later, still have the job. Amazing.
Saw a screenshot of a CV recently. Military service. Branch, Navy. Country, US. Rank, military spouse. I wasn't remembering her.
No, that's good. Wee Man, thank you for the 10 gifted. Although, Wee Man, thank you for the 10 gifted. You're a legend. Dirt, thank you for the 1 gifted. You're a hero. Ben still hasn't been got. Hopefully Ben's got gifted turned on. This is a tough one, Kaz, right? This is a tough one for me to answer with you, because there are too many people out there that try very hard to wear their husband's rank.
Yeah.
But we cannot look past what some spouses go through to support their other half. Now, normally, it's the ones that say nothing that are the ones that we should be grateful for, to be fair. Not the ones that are putting it on their CV. I'll give you this much. Not the ones that are putting it on their CV. But I don't think it's fair to say you're just a spouse, because that comes with its own baggage and it comes with its own effort.
Although, I do remember going up to the community house. They kept one house free on the pads for things like computer or the internet or other facilities that you might not have in your own home yet. And I went into that, I think they call it the hive, to meet all the other wives. Instantly a little bit uncomfortable. No, I'm not that kind. Like I don't need to go to the toilet in groups, and I don't need to do the pamper stuff. But sure, Liam said to go make friends, so I'm gonna go and make friends. First question I got, who's your husband? And I said, oh, his name's Liam. And then I got, no, idiot. What rank is he? I don't know. And then another wife went, what does he have on his arm? And she referenced your left arm. And I went, I don't know. How many stripes has he got? I don't know how many stripes. And then my friend who was with me, she said, he's a lance corporal. And they went, ugh, and turned away. And that was the last time I went to that house. So I am well aware of the wives that try to wear the rank of their hardworking spouse. I'm very aware.
The thing is, there are people that would have been senior NCA wives and above, probably.
Well, that's all right, because they missed out on some top shelf wit at my house.
I don't think so. I was away.
Fuck you.
My spouse says the medal putting up with my fucktardery. Well, you know.
But I'd heard stories about that. Didn't think it was real. Honestly, didn't think it was real.
I don't think that's common. It's unfortunate you had that experience quite early on, but I don't think that's all that common, thankfully.
I did find a couple of wives who were really, really nice, but they also kept to themselves. So I thought, I'm going to take a leaf from your books and keep to myself.
Yeah. When I worked in fast food restaurants, we would always plan when to put food down in the fryer so the alarms did not go off during the 2-minute silence. No one ever complained. It was glorious. I attended my local parade with my assistant's dog in training for my PTSD, and he did really well. My first in a while, as PTSD has stopped me for years. It's amazing what dogs can do. Dogs are incredible. Dogs are better than humans. Fact. Mm-hmm. I was shocked that Foss Park Shopping Centre in Leicester refused the Royal British Legion a licence to collect on their premises.
Huh?
Foss Park Shopping Centre in Leicester refused the Royal British Legion a licence to collect on their premises.
Why?
Because they're cunts. No one ever goes to that shopping centre in Leicester ever again. Done. There you go, solve that problem. Fucking horrible creatures. How do I activate gifted? Yes, I'm still a monk. Plus Lads Jack is the worst job, but I agree spouses deserve more credit. Well, I mean, I got to full screen, Ben, before I chinned it. I got to full screen before I got fucking recommended for promotion for sergeant 2 years in a row and never picked up, despite the fact being top third, etc., and having all the right ticks. And I went, you know what? You don't value me. I'm fucking off.
How many subscribers does your husband have?
You don't know how often I get that, Ash. And I go, well, I think his mum listens. That's all I say. His mum tunes in.
I don't think she does.
No, she doesn't.
Click on the gift countdowns above, Ben. Yeah, right at the top where Roland's got the 50. If you click on the 50 right at the top of chat, it should come up with a little box that gives you a thing that says allow gifts. I think that's how it works. Allow gifts. And then if you've done that, then say, I've done it, and then people can gift you a membership. All right? Oh, we're not going to push for it hard tonight, though, but we'll be pushing again tomorrow.
I so wish I was braver when we were on the pads.
Why?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think you would have got much out of it, at least. To be fair. When working as a supermarket deputy manager, I used to lock the doors for 2 minutes before 11 and had an announcement made against company policy, but community loved it. Fuck the company.
Aww.
Well done, Rev. The Reverend, I'm sure it was you who messaged me today, who said, headed up his, it was you on Twitter, wasn't it? Who ran a Remembrance service himself today.
Oh, awesome.
It's your potty mouth that makes people run away screaming. I don't know what you're talking about.
If you're the reverend that's running the Remembrance service, do you have to cancel the service that would normally take place on a Sunday in the church?
I assume so. Or do they do both?
Yeah, or do you move
that's got to be a lot, I don't do
the
both.
church one, or...
I didn't finish Lance Corporal, Ash. I finished as a full screw, thank you. Don't do me a disservice here. How many stripes? 33.7 thousand. Is it that high now? I don't think it is it?
I wish I was braver, but I also love that I had no idea what the badges meant.
Oh, wow. Wife took one as well. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, because they're both reverends.
Yeah, him and his wife both did their own remembrance service. That's fucking incredible. Thank you, Chris. You're a legend. Worked with military working dogs for 50 plus years in the RAF, worth their weight in gold. Yep. Mm-hmm. Without that. You've got 10 minutes, chat. If you want to chuck anything in chat right now for me to read out, you've got 10 minutes before I'm going to go to bed because I am on my arse. And Luce won't let me have a no alarm clock day tomorrow or Tuesday.
Nope.
So I was marking out routes earlier to go running in the morning.
Where are you going to go?
It's only like a 1.7 mile route to start with.
Is it down your normal? Down near Tesco?
Sort of. It goes out to I can't remember the route now. Fuck.
Who's texting me? You normally text me.
I text you during
Someone's
stream.
just normally. Oh, I have friends.
It goes up to where the church is, where you used to have your little group.
Yeah.
Down, back in past the school.
Oh, yeah.
And then the cut through. And then back up.
That's 1.7 miles?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like it'd be a much bigger run. 1.7 miles.
Liam, I don't know what those military words mean. Did you prestige or get gold camo? Yes. Let's just say yes. Yeah. Love dog kicking with the doggos. Amazing. Oh, Ben became a member all by himself! Exclamation mark Discord. Ben, get yourself in Discord, dude. Why legend? One thing I've noticed from X-Squad is they don't have much of a filter and great sense of humour. Filters are for fucking losers. Actually, it was with the military from COD. Yeah. Had no idea it was British Remembrance Day today, not from the UK, but it's Remembrance Day next Monday. Lots of good British men fought here in Croatia. Can't thank you enough. Oh, what a legend.
Aww.
What a hero. Ben didn't let people gift him, he just became a member all by himself. That puts us on 90, chat. 90 members today. On a day where I have no membership target. You lot are special. Just a communion at 9 a.m. and then 11 for the service. One of the quietest Sundays of the year, but one of the hardest.
Is it one of the hardest because of the enormity?
The pressure.
Yeah.
Or is it the emotional
Yeah, is it
side?
the emotion of it? Because our Reverend today messed up a little bit and he said he was retiring and I said to Liam, I bet he knows those speeches like the back of his hand, but I wonder if it's the emotion.
Maybe it was his last one as well. He's retiring, so. Tomorrow's Veterans Day here in the US. Yeah, tomorrow night stream will be Happy Veterans Day.
Does Lance Corporal also mean you get +1 to wound if you charge?
Oh, no. The members thing's broken because it still says Friday night. I forgot it's still on the YouTube sub button. Go away. Go. There we go. Yeah, you're right, Net Soldier Nudges. People do need to like the stream. We just hit 100 likes. Thanks, chat. Thanks for the 100 likes, team. You're amazing. Oh, you've got 7 minutes.
Just 7 minutes to go.
Can we get like a World War loose fact or no?
Oh, let me see.
You can say no.
Let me see.
I've only just asked you last minute because I thought it'd be interesting. Lance Corporal gets +2 to paperwork. My little brother retires as a major soon. He was promoted to major. He was transferred to the big red one. I was so proud of him. I felt like shit for a week due to my lack of service. Don't be silly. I bet you've been incredible support for your brother Dirt. Emotion and making sure that the sermon is honouring and challenging and true to the good news. I bet it is an emotional drain. I find it emotionally draining. We watched the Royal British Legion's Remembrance service last night. Emotionally draining.
I think I made it about 5 minutes in before you had to go and get me a tea
don't think
towel.
it was even 5 minutes before you were bawling your fucking eyes out.
Yeah.
And then we watched the London Remembrance service today once we got home from our service, and that was a fucking emotional heartache as well. You've been a saviour, special long deployments, so the pleasure is mine. Screw is plus one wound fact. You're a legend. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, dude. Get yourself in Discord. Check out all the other benefits that exist as well. I'm guessing Luce hasn't liked the stream yet.
Is that Gaz?
Nope. Other people in chat now grassing you up. Lance Gribble gets +5 to why am I doing this job? Yeah. I didn't want to like because of the naughty words in today's theme being what it is. Wow. Do the people actually serving do the saluting ranks in normal sentences joke from How I Met Your Mother? I don't know what that. I've not watched that show really. Actually, I don't know what you're asking me. Always well up on days like today. It can be really tough, yeah. I'm very blessed and very lucky that I don't. I know people that have died who I served with, but I don't know anyone who's died in active service. So in that regards, I guess I'm kind of lucky. Yeah. I still find it quite emotional. Although nowadays, I'll be honest with you, I for the longest time I think Luce thought I was emotionally dead inside. Because I don't really cry at anything. What I've found, however, is that the things that gets me nowadays is when it's parents talking about having to tell their children that their other half isn't coming home and things like that, or parents that then outlive their children who don't come home. Now being a parent, that's the shit that now gets me, which it didn't before, but it does now.
I don't think it can get you until you are a parent.
But typically I'd be able to sit there and watch Remembrance and be like, it's sad and it's emotional and it's hard, but I wouldn't really well up at all. And now when it's a couple of things they put on the show today and yesterday, I was like, oh God, right in the feels. Right in the feels. You found a fact?
I'm trying to.
Trying to get you a bonus fact, chat. Something like if all the casualties lined up 3 abreast, it would go from the cenotaph to...
Oh, that's an amazing fact.
That's a great fact.
I can't have that one.
Well, you can't because we've already had that one. Yes, super chatted it in, didn't he? So, you know. Oh my lord, I'm so tired. Right. Are we going to give up on the fact?
Yeah, I think there's too many servicemen commenting and I can't say any of it, so...
I mean, you can, but yeah, okay. I just thought it might be a nice idea. How many people deployed on D-Day? Ask that of Google. That's a nice fact. Put that one in. Let's ask that question as a random fact before we go. I've done 11 years and met the most amazing bods, but the hardest part of the job is losing friends to their demons. I've lost 26, but still best job in the world. Yeah, it sucks, mate. Where are you based, Ben? Whereabouts are you? Thanks, Liam and Luce. Please, everyone, reach out to a vet today and ensure they're okay. Yes. 100%. RIP Crash. Always miss, brother. Yeah, 100%. If you know a vet or anyone serving, it's the one day a year where I'm like, just drop them a message. Just stick a message on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger and be like, how's it going? Are you all right? Sometimes all the person needs is for someone somewhere to say, how you getting on? Are you okay? So you know. Have you found it?
I think so.
Yeah? Are we ready? It's just, this isn't a funny one. This isn't about loose or loose. You don't have to vote on this one. This is just a nice fact for Remembrance Day.
61,715 British troops were deployed on D-Day.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
There's a lot in it.
But altogether, I think it was 156,000 altogether on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 code names along the 50-mile stretch of beach. I think.
Omaha, Juneau, Sword, Gold, Utah.
I went down quite the rabbit hole about, I wanted to do something really light and fun, something like how many cups of tea on average are served a day on board a submarine, like a military submarine. And Well, did I learn a thing or two about what a cup of tea with milk and 1 sugar is called? And it got very, I can't say half of them. You call it a Julie Andrews.
A spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
It's NATO standard, which is white 2 sugars. A Julie Andrews is a spoonful of sugar.
And then a Whoopi Goldberg is...
A black nun.
Yep. And then, is there 3 sugar one?
I don't know that if there is one.
Do you say a Julie Andrews and a...
No. Just out of 3 sugars.
You just say 3?
Just ask for it.
Just don't ask for it, so you don't get your tea. If it's 2 or more, you're not getting it. Or no, if it's more than 2, you're not getting it.
And that's the current size of the UK army, exactly. And here's the other one for you, right? This is a sombering thought. Remember what I said at the start of the stream chat about being grateful to those who sacrifice so that you can have the freedoms to argue about things like politics and gender and race and religion and all that kind of stuff. Remembering this. Some 75 million people died in World War II, including about 20 million military personnel and 40 million civilians, many of whom died because of deliberate genocide, massacres, mass bombings, disease, and starvation. Right? 75 million people died in the Second World War. 40 million of those civilians. So, this is why I think these days are important. I think it's important to spread the message. I think it's important to make sure our children are educated and the young people are educated as to what went on back then. I think all those things are very important. I think it's important to reach out to people that you know that are veterans. Because although we're talking about the Second World War specifically at this point, you know, I served 3 times in Afghanistan. That conflict only finished 10 years ago. And people saw some horrific stuff in Afghanistan. You know, people really suffered. Some of the stories that came out over the last 24 hours that we've watched and the programs that we've watched are about people serving in Afghanistan. Before that was Iraq. We've had the Falklands. We've had conflict after conflict after conflict. So reach out to a veteran. Ask if they're okay. Remember what these people give up so that everybody else can keep their freedoms. And the next time, you know, people are getting super fucking irritable, arguing a point, sometimes it's worth taking a step back, taking stock, and being grateful for the fact that you have the freedom to make these arguments and have these opinions. That's what this is about tonight. That's what the stream's about. Tomorrow we'll celebrate Veterans Day, which is the US one as well. It'll be 2 days, two streams in a row. I'm not sorry about it, because I think it's important. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today anyway. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And thank you to every single person who's paid their respects today, whichever way you've chosen to do it as well. You know, whichever way you've chosen to do it. Thank you for paying your respects. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stream, people. Hopefully it's not been too sad. It's just nice to remember those people and nice to remember the fallen and nice to remember friends and family. And like Gaz said right at the start of the stream, to absent friends and family is it's a hard toast to swallow, that one, but it's definitely one that's worth doing every single time. So, you know. What I will say is, in Discord, we have the mental health thread, right? The mental health thread is a place where you can go and talk. I'm going to add some caveats right now. We are not trained individuals. None of us are trained individuals. We wanted to create a space where people could go in there and talk and open up. We have some capacity to signpost you to relevant charities that might be able to help you. So don't feel like just because we're not trained individuals, you don't want to open up. Feel free to. We're not going to try and fix your problems for you. Sometimes all that a person needs is just for another person to listen. And even if that's just in written text, it's listening essentially, okay? But people may try and signpost you if they think it's particularly bad. But please, no one ever suffer in silence. Go in that mental health thread and type. You can DM me on Discord, Instagram, places like that, and I will eventually get back to you. Sometimes it takes a while because I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I get a lot of messages, so I can't always answer every single one straight away. But please, no one, especially on days like today, and days like tomorrow, no one ever suffer in silence, okay? This is what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a community here of people that look out for each other, respect each other, and care for each other. Like I said right at the beginning, Warhammer's the reason we come together. It's not the reason why we stick around, okay? So, never suffer in silence, all right? We're here for you, all right? We're always here for you. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I hope, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Thank you for 90 new members on a stream where I didn't have a membership goal. That's amazing. Thank you so much for all the super chats and the donations. You're all heroes. Big shout out to Roland Bain, who dropped a $100 dono right at the start and gifted 50. Absolute legend, absolute hero. Thank you so much, Roland. I can fucking guarantee when you think you haven't done enough that you absolutely have. All right? Absolutely guarantee it. You're all amazing. We're back tomorrow at 7:30. It's supposed to be a hobby show. We're going to do a veteran show. Don't worry, I'm still painting. Still painting away. Look. Ready? There's a little cheeky chap. We've been painting him. Whoop. So that's still going to happen. I'm planning on doing some painting tomorrow anyway. But tomorrow's going to be Veterans Day because it's what the guys in the US celebrate. So I think it's important for us to do that one tomorrow as well. So we'll do Veterans Day tomorrow. On Tuesday, we're back with the Liam and Joe show and a live game of AOS at 7:30. Joe will finally be playing Fire Slayers because he's not paid for it. Wednesday's the Warhammer show where we'll return to some level of normality on streams in the evenings here in the studio here anyway. Thursday, we've got a live game of 40k. Adam's back. And then Friday, we're back with 40k After Dark. Okay? Full week of content coming up. Let's smash it. You're all amazing. Anything you want? Do you want to add anything? Sorry, this is one of those rare occasions where you actually might have something to add. Do you want to add anything before we go?
No.
Right, okay, good.
Bye.
Thank you, you wonderful people. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being amazing. And thank you for being a great community. Most importantly, thank you for being...
Best chat.
Best chat. You're all amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. If not, we'll see you in the next one.